Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Rosy Recap. It's Lauren.
And Bracken.
We've taken a little bit of a break, as you've probably noticed, because Bracken and I have just had really crazy school and work schedules, but we're so happy to be back and have a really exciting interview for you guys with Marlena Wesh from this past season of The Bachelor. So Marlena, thank you so much for coming on our podcast.
Woo!
Of course. Thank you guys for having me. I'm so excited.
Yeah, we're super excited to have you. So we just wanted to get kind of like your take on your whole experience with The Bachelor, because we feel like we didn't really get to know you that well on the show. We really wanted to get to know more about you. So can you just kind of explain who you are?
Yeah, so I'm Marlena. I always like to enunciate the E because I usually get a lot of people that call me Marlena, and that's fine. No, it's okay. I answer to whatever, but I know some people usually ask because they feel like they're saying it wrong. They're like, wait, is it Marlena or Marlena? And I'm like, it's Marlena, but I answer to both. So I'm Marlena. I currently live in Miami. Prior to the show, I was living in Gainesville. I worked as the vice president of human resources at a financial institution. I also, I really love real estate. So I owned a couple properties in Gainesville. And what else do I do? What else do I do?
You're a Renaissance woman.
Exactly. And so, no, I ended up, in a really, really terrible relationship. And that's what kind of led me to applying to be on The Bachelor.
Nice.
Sick.
Nice. Did you go to the University of Florida?
I didn't. Everyone asked me that because I lived in Gainesville. Unfortunately, I actually worked at the University of Florida. I went to Clemson, so I'm a Tiger.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, I'm a Tiger.
Yeah, we're from Florida, and basically everyone I know that goes to Gainesville, it's because they went to UF. So.
Not a Gator at all, but I pretended to be at a couple of games. I definitely pretended.
That's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, before we ask you more questions about being on The Bachelor, you are an Olympian, which I think is just so cool. So could you tell us a little bit about your time with the Olympic organization and what that training process is like and just competing in your event, being there, all that stuff?
Right. So I moved to Florida back in 2014, but I ran in the Olympics in 2012. So I was actually a junior in college when I went to the Olympics. And just training, we had 2 days. So we would train at 6 a.m. and then we would train again at 2 p.m. And it was excruciating. It definitely actually prepared you for the real world in a sense, because you have that motivation, you have your teammates. My coach, I like to call him the Coach Carter of coaches, because he was the one that was literally like, you can do this, you got this, keep going. And he literally trained your mind. Yeah. And I think that's so important. I think people really need to learn how to either train their mind or start doing exercises to kind of train their mentality, because this world is hard in itself, so if you can actually get yourself and your mentality to be on one accord, then you'll be fine. And so just training, I kind of trained through the Olympics. So I trained for the NCAA, right? And then training for that, you basically kind of train for the Olympics as well. I actually ran for my parents' country of Haiti. My parents are immigrants, and they immigrated over to the States when they were in their 20s. So, I got a chance to have dual citizenship with Haiti and with the United States. And of course, I won't say the easier route, but the easier route.
Yeah, but
they say...
That's why, that's why your parents came. I'm sure it was getting you an easier life,
right? Yeah, exactly. So, I ended up choosing Haiti. And just because, they aren't too much on the map, there's so many things that have happened in Haiti. And I just really wanted to wear their colors and wear their name across my chest and wear it with pride, and to just kind of, help them out with, just kind of leveraging who the country is, you know, what the country is, you know, where it is, so people actually know more about it. Because I guarantee, I asked a couple people, and I'm like, where's Haiti at? And they're like, I never even heard of that country. Like, I've never even heard of that country before, you know? And so, yeah, it's surprising, but no, and, you know, I made it to the Olympics. It was an interesting experience. I am not a fan of London. I'm gonna get a lot of hate from this, but London was just so cold and rainy, and it was just so dreary. And I'm just like a mood person based on, I'm weather dependent. Like, my mood is just all about, so if it's like ugly and raining, I'm going to have a very sad and depressed attitude. And that's exactly what it was like every single day it rained. And I finished 19th in the world. So I was pretty proud. Impressive. Like, I came in, so I came in as an underdog, and I finished as the underdog.
No, that's,
but, you know, it was a good experience, to say the least.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I was 19 in the world or something.
I mean, I once ran the fastest mile time in my high school PE class.
Oh wow, look at you!
Nice.
So what would you say was your like very favorite part about the Olympics?
My most favorite part about the Olympics was, this is going to sound crazy, but there is a cafeteria, and the cafeteria had every single country. Like, it was a huge, like, melting pot of different foods. So you would have like the Caribbean over here, you would have China over here. And then the funniest part about it, guess what they had for America?
What?
McDonald's.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man, that's funny.
So they had McDonald's for us, and it was hilarious. And I'm saying us, I am American, I'm Haitian as well, but that was literally where everybody went to eat. Like, everyone was always in the McDonald's line, and everything's free. So, I mean, you're walking up there and you're getting like a Big Mac, and it's free. And then the sad part, you come back to like the reality, you come back to the regular world, and you have to actually wait in line, and you actually have to pay. So it's like, dang, free.
Dang, free Big Macs. Maybe I should go to the Olympics.
No, that's your dream. Like, that is your dream right there.
Oh, come on.
But the real question is, which competition was more intimidating, the Olympics or the Bachelor?
I swear I get this question all the time. The Bachelor.
Yeah.
What? I believe it.
The Bachelor, for sure. I mean, intimidating is a great word to describe it, just because, I mean, when you're running or when you're competing, like, you know who you're lined up against. Like, you already know, like, okay, this person's ranked number 1. You know all their stats. You know exactly who they are. You know basically how they run the race. Bachelor was different, right? You get to the limo and you're just like, oh my God. These girls are beautiful. Like, I don't stand a chance. Like, I'm definitely going home like the first night, like, for sure. You know, and it's just like, I remember getting into the limo, and I was in the limo with Kira, Elizabeth, Lindsay D, and Gabby.
Oh, wow.
And I remember literally, I got in there and I was like, I don't stand a chance. Like, I was like, I do not stand a chance. And then, I mean, Kira had the doctor's outfit on. So I was like, oh, I did not get the memo. I would have wore lingerie too, but.
Oh man.
I think I would be so intimidated walking out first night and everything. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I'd be intimidated as a guy, honestly, as a Bachelor.
As the Bachelor? Yeah.
I'm like, whoa, where am I?
Right.
Yeah. Something that always really interests me is just like wondering how people ended up on this show. So could you talk a little bit about like what led you to being on The Bachelor looking for a husband?
Yes. Oh my gosh. So I got out of a very toxic relationship. I was with a narcissist for about 1.5 years, and it ended very sour. And it ended, I talked to people a lot, and they're just like, oh my God, you seem like such a strong woman. And I was like, no, there was actually one point in my life where I was not. And it was when I was dating him. And like, he literally like broke my entire spirit. And I literally had to do some self-reflecting and just kind of take a step back and ask myself, like, like, is it you? Like, is it me? And like, am I just always falling for the wrong person. And so I jokingly was like, you know what? I'm just gonna find love in an unconventional way. Like I'm gonna apply to be on The Bachelor.
Might as
And
well.
literally I applied. I was not expecting anything at all because I don't win anything. Like I don't even win the scratch offs, like, you know, the little, the scratch offs at the gas station. Like I don't even win that stuff. So I'm like, you know, what, it wouldn't hurt. And I remember I applied, and I had this picture that I had taken like a week prior in Houston. And it showed like I had a six pack back then, and I had like a six pack, and it like kind of showed my six pack. And I remember submitting that photo, and literally like a month later, I get a call, and it's like, "Hi, this is so and so from The Bachelor," and I'm like, "From the who? From the what?" And I was like, okay. And then from there, like it began.
Wow.
Dang.
That's so cool.
So did you know about Clayton before? Like, did you see him on the last Bachelor season, or did you not know anything about him?
No one knew about Clayton at
Right.
all. Like
Right.
I remember making the decision because I had to quit my job, you know, and I don't think people talk about that too much. Like what you actually risk and what you actually leave behind and just give up in order to try to find love, in order to try to actually pursue like somebody. And I actually had to quit my job. And I remember before even resigning, I was like, I'm not going to do it if it's not someone that I actually even want to be in a relationship with, or can see myself being with. And we literally found out, I want to say it was literally like either a week and a half or 2 weeks prior to leaving.
Wow.
So we all thought that it was going to be, and I can't speak for everybody, so I'm going to say I thought it was going to be either Greg or Andrew, you know, and that was the talk. The talk was Greg or Andrew. The talk was, you know, was them two.
Yeah.
And then we find out, no, it's someone from Michelle's season. So everyone like dashes to go look at the roster on Michelle's team. It's like, okay, who can I see myself with? Who can I see myself with? Because like, we don't know this person's personality. Like all we're basing it off of is their looks. And I remember, okay, I chose Clayton. I chose Martin. I was like, there were a couple of guys, I'm not going to keep naming, but there were a couple of guys like whose pictures like really stood out. And I was like, okay, these guys are kind of cute. Yeah. You know, and I was like, I wouldn't mind, you know, leaving this stuff behind for these guys based on their pictures.
Yeah, crazy.
That's crazy, but that's a really cool story.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be Andrew too, honestly.
We definitely thought it was gonna be Andrew.
He seemed like the most standout.
Oh yeah, I was like, he obviously is gonna be the Bachelor, and then when they announced Clayton, I was like, whoa, that is unexpected.
Yeah, because I remember we were looking at the pictures of you guys, the girls and the Bachelor, and I think
it was Clayton, before he was announced.
Yeah, Clayton wasn't even announced yet. Yeah. So yeah, that's crazy.
Right.
So what was that first encounter with Clayton, like stepping out of the limo?
So I did this like referee thing where I like threw the penalty flag and I stepped out the limo and I blow the whistle and was like, flag on the play, 10-yard penalty for being so fine. And I remember him like literally like laughing out loud. And I was like, okay, either I did a really good job where he thinks I'm like the weirdest person ever. And I go up to him and he's just like 10 out of 10 corny. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going home for sure. Like, like I'm really going home now. Cause I mean, to me, corny's negative. I'm like, oh my God, he called me corny. so I went in the house and I like, the first thing I said when I saw all the girls, they were like, oh my, like all the girls are screaming like, oh my God, you're so pretty. You're so pretty. You're so pretty. Wow. And I was like, yo, he called me corny. And they're like, oh my God. They're like, corny's so cute. And I was like, in what universe is corny cute?
I've been like, oh no.
Yikes.
Right.
So, I remember on night one, I think Claire was going around saying that she hated Clayton. How was that? Like the way that was portrayed in the show, was that accurate, or how did you see it?
So the funniest part about Claire is she was like the first person I was like, oh, I like you. she's from Virginia Beach. I'm from Virginia Beach. Susie's from Virginia Beach. I'm from Virginia Beach, and so like we already hit it off because we were talking about all the places in Virginia Beach that she liked going, the places that I grew up, going to. And I remember literally like I first got there, I was like, I need a shot. I was called corny, like I need to take a shot. Like I need to literally like decompress. And she's like, let's go. Like, what are you drinking? What are you drinking? I was like, oh, I like her for sure. Like she's super cool. And I honestly think she was like just really intoxicated because I really think it was like the liquor talking, And so it was funny because when she came back and she was like, yeah, I didn't even hear her say it. It was like a rumor going around that she had said it. And I was like, I was just talking to this girl. She seems so cool. Like, she didn't seem like she would say something like that. And they were like, no, yeah, she literally just said he sucks. And I was like, oh my gosh. And so like I remember actually then hearing her say it, like, yeah, he's just not my type. Like, I don't like him. And I would leave and I would come back and she would be still talking about, yeah, I don't like that. I asked the producers to go home. Like, yeah, I'm ready to go. I would leave. I would come back and I'm like, girl, why are you still here? Like, you literally just said you're ready to leave. Like, go home.
Yeah, honestly, I thought it was, I liked it. I thought it was refreshing.
It was so funny. Like, I thought it was hilarious.
Because that never happens, like, ever.
I thought she was like a producer plant, honestly. I was like, they definitely set him up.
It seemed like that.
Because before that was Sally, who he offers the rose to. And
yeah.
No. And then
which we didn't even know.
Yeah. Did you guys not even know that until the show aired?
We didn't know when it actually aired and they had all the cast members and they had her. We're like, who's this girl?
Yeah.
Like, and previously engaged. We were like, wait, we're so confused. And then of course you go on Reddit and you read everything and you're just like, oh my gosh, like, wow, what is happening? And then, you watch the show and you're just like, wow, this is really crazy that this even happened.
I was so convinced that she was going to come back. I was like, there's no way they're going to show us that. And then she's not going to show up like mid-season, like, I'm here.
Right. It would have been a surprise for us because we would have been like, wait, who is this girl?
Right.
Like, we don't even know who this person even is.
She must have just not wanted to be there. Dang.
Yeah. Tough. Well, speaking of drama, the very next week, you are on this group date that kicks off all of this crazy drama that kind of goes through like most of the season with Shanae. So can you kind of talk about that? Like, how did the drama of that first group date with her and everything like cause like a almost domino effect?
Yeah. Well, I feel like I was just never around for any of the drama. I honestly feel like I was just, for whatever reason, like no one ever had drama like around me. So it was always things that I would hear would be going on. I'm like, man, how did I miss that? Like I was with you. Like how am I missing all this stuff? Yeah. And so the group date was the obstacle course in which Sarah won. And so it was the funniest thing ever. We were literally like going at it and it was hilarious. But so it started out in the obstacle course. And from what we had heard, Shanae had pushed Elizabeth into the lava, the breadcrumb lava. And I think that's how it started. From what has been said, that's how it all started. And then of course it catapulted its way to the night portion in which they just start going back and forth. And I'm just like, wait, what's happening right now? Like where did all of this even come from? And then the ADHD thing happened and it kind of seemed like it was under control when Elizabeth grabbed her and said, hey, can we go chat real quick? Mm-hmm. And she took her and they just talked and they came back and it seemed like it was okay. Yeah. But I mean, apparently not.
Yeah, I guess really not.
Yeah, it did definitely
it was not good.
It was not, but honestly, like we love watching drama, so
I mean, yeah,
10 out of 10.
It was good. I mean, it was good too.
Right.
I was cringing for Shanae. I was like, oh god.
Yeah, I just really wanted to know, like, was that accurate? Like, what we saw? I guess.
I mean, what you saw was definitely accurate. I mean, You guys saw it. So you saw, or we all saw when we were watching it back, like the whole backstory, right? Because we don't see the ITMs when she's kind of like talking and saying this, that, and the third, and kind of just talking junk about everybody. We don't see that until we actually watch the show. So for me and my perspective on Shanae in general, I was actually friends with Shanae. You know, and I was actually also like the neutral soundboard in the house. Being in HR, I got to look at everything from everyone's perspective. You know, I would have people coming into my office and they'd be, they'd be the person that's like, hey, this person did this to me. And I'd have to talk to both people and say, okay, how can we reach a common goal? You know, and so that's exactly how I was in the house. And so I would hear things from Elizabeth. I would hear things from Shanae. And I'm like, all right, so how are we going to solve this? Like, that's all I care about. Like, what are we going to do to solve this? How can we make this go away? And so until I actually watched what she was saying in the ATMs, in ITMs, when I watched it back, I was like, oh, wow, she really didn't like anybody. That's not how she came off to me. You know, she was very nice to me and she was very respectful to me.
Yeah.
So it sounds like you went from your real job, you quit that to go on the show, and then you did the same role on the show.
For free.
Yeah. You should have just hosted it, honestly.
Yeah, for real. So switching gears a little bit.
Yeah.
What was your favorite date that you went on?
Of course, the football date.
Of course.
Classic.
You were so good. Like it was like, man, she definitely is an Olympian.
Yeah,
like,
I saw that coming. I really saw that coming.
Yeah. It was the most fun day. And I knew I was like waiting for a sports day. I'm like, please let me get my chance to shine because these girls are really shining. Like the vulnerability date, the obstacle course when Sarah beat me. I'm like, let me get my shine so he can actually like notice me, right? Let me actually stick out so he can actually pay attention to me and like notice me and see me. And we connected from a sports and athleticism, standpoint anyway. So I felt like that's how our foundation started. Or that's how we started our foundation. And then kind of, after that football day, it was like, okay, like Marlena's really not playing any games. And so, it was such a fun day. When I tell you, we like literally needed like a massage therapist the next morning because we were hurting. We were hurting for
scratches,
sure.
Bruises.
Yeah.
There was, I think Shanae had like her arm wrapped. Like it was crazy.
Yes.
Every time I see the show, I forget that date is like an actual football game. It's legit.
It's legit.
Right.
It's like every single season there's one. So you gotta train for it, honestly. Like if I was going on the show, I think I would go to like get like a trainer or something and be like, if I'm on this football day
for Bachelor football.
Yes. I'd be so scared if I got there and I hadn't prepared. I'd be like, I'm gonna die.
Like break your back.
I mean, honestly.
You get paralyzed.
But did you guys ever get the trophy out of the pond?
Oh my, I actually did. Yes. I was the one that went and I got it out. I'm surprised I didn't show it in the bloopers. But I actually, like, when Shanae ended up leaving, I ended up saying, oh my God, like, who's gonna get this thing out the pond? And so I went over there and I'm like sitting here trying to get it, and I ended up getting it from the pond. But luckily it wasn't broken or anything. So
did you get to keep it?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't get to keep it. I don't even know what happened to it. Right. I did get a football. So I kept the football.
Oh, nice.
Well, it sounds like you had quite the experience there. And you did make it pretty far. You were in the top 12. But I feel like the viewers didn't really get to see your connection with Clayton a lot. So when you did get sent home, were you surprised? Like, had you guys connected really well? Or was it something you kind of expected?
The night that I had left, it was such a weird feeling. So our last conversation, I kind of just introduced. It was so funny. I had a picture of my mom, and she's like my superhero. And so I was kind of just explaining to him that like everyone has a superhero, and how my mom is. I basically told him, I was like, I have someone I want you to meet, and he's like scared. He's like, did you really like bring somebody here? And I left and I came back and I had a picture, and I had the picture of my mom, and I was just kind of introducing her as like my role model, my hero. She came here into a foreign country for her, and she raised 5 children on her own. You know, my dad was out to sea in the military, and she raised all 5 of us by herself with no help, essentially. And I was basically talking about that, and I think I cried. And so after we left, or after I had left, I had this feeling that like I had run out of time. And it was such a weird feeling. I remember doing my ITM afterwards, and they were asking like, yeah, so how was it? You know, what'd you think? And I was like, I'm going home tonight. Like, it was so weird. I really honestly felt like it hit me like I'm getting sent home tonight. And so when he didn't call my name, it was like, I wasn't shocked, but it was more so of a, okay, this is real now. You know, now this is real. So you're actually going home. And it doesn't really settle in until you get back to the room and you're about to board your flight, and you're just like, wow, I'm about to leave this bubble and go back to the real world.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild. Yeah, well, at least you got to come back for the Women Tell All, which was insane.
That was crazy.
How was that? What was that like for you in the Women Tell All?
Well, it was so good seeing everybody again. I felt like we had just did this one huge hiatus where we're just kind of like stalking each other on Instagram and on socials. And so being able to see everybody in person was so good. It was so refreshing. But the Women Tell All, it was complete chaos. I remember sitting down, and the first 5 minutes, I don't think there was any direction, and everyone just started like coming for Shanae. And I was like, I remember sitting like this.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not gonna get one word out of my mouth because everyone is talking over everyone's screaming. It was a catastrophe, like literally. And then of course Jesse reeled everybody in, and he gained some control. Yeah. And then people just started talking, and he started asking questions. But in the beginning, I was like, there's no way this is going to end well at all.
It was crazy to watch, honestly.
Yeah.
I feel like I needed to lay down after. I was like, man.
Right.
I feel bad for everyone involved.
I know.
Yeah, literally.
Well, now I kind of ask some more fun questions. I have some superlatives that I'd like you to
this is fun.
contestants. Yes. So first, who do you think was the biggest comedian in the house?
Gabby, what?
Yeah, she was funny.
Yeah, she was so funny. She was cracking us up.
Mm-hmm.
So besides yourself, who do you think is most likely to go to the Olympics and win a gold medal? And what event would they compete in?
That's hilarious. Sierra. For sure. Sierra actually running track. So she's actually really fast as well. So it'd definitely be Sierra.
Okay, nice.
Maybe we'll see it in what, 2024?
All right, here's one.
Yes.
Who is most likely to randomly elope in Las Vegas without telling anyone?
Eliza!
Oh, yeah.
She was so cool. We didn't get to see much of her, though.
Oh, you didn't get to see too much of her because she didn't talk. Okay, like Eliza is. I love her to death, but she's so quiet, and it's like, talk, Eliza, say something, and she's just so quiet, and she's so laid back, though.
Yeah. All right. Who is most likely to become the president?
Okay. Gosh, that's a good one. The president. Daria. I mean, she was like literally like the smartest person there.
Yeah, she's pretty accomplished.
But you guys, you didn't see too much of her because she left, the first night. But Daria, that's a smart girl right there.
Yeah, I remember when her cast bio came out, and it was like she was like went to all these Ivy Leagues. I was like,
right.
Chill out.
Yeah, I was like, whoa.
Right.
Yeah, well, it sounds like you had a really fun, wholesome group of women with you. Did you have like a couple women that you were closest to in the house?
Susie was literally my best friend in the house. And so it was Susie, Gabby, and in the house, like right now is a different story, like now that we're on the other side, but in the house, it was Susie and it was Gabby. And like those were, and then Lindsay W, like that was my girl in the house. And those are the ones that I was very, very close to.
Nice. Yeah, there was a bunch of good contestants this season, I think.
For sure.
So at the end, we saw that it was going to be Rachel and Gabby as the bachelorettes. And so what was your reaction to that, hearing that for the first time?
Well, I was super shocked that it was two. But I, no surprise, they're going to do amazing. They're going to do amazing at that role just because they're so lovable, and they're just so wholesome and they're so genuine. And I think that especially in a role like that, you have to genuinely want love. You can't be someone that's just like here just for, the fame or the followers or whatever. Like you really have to see this working and you really have to believe in it. And I think those are two women that really do.
I agree.
For sure. They seemed like really good friends too in the end.
Yes.
I really hope that whatever happens, that they don't get pitted against each other. Yeah. I see them both again. So.
Right.
I didn't know who was going to win, honestly. I like the entire time. Usually I feel like I know who's going to win, but this season I really
we really thought Rachel was going to win.
Yeah. Before that, I thought Sarah was going to be like in the top 3.
Oh yeah, I thought Sarah was going to be in hometowns at least. But this season there was just so many twists. Like I have watched the show for a long time, and so I usually think I know what's going to happen. But this season, crazy. Clayton just
the most dramatic season ever.
I'm going to ruin my life, but I want to make the best season of Bachelor yet. Let's go.
It honestly was my favorite season of Bachelor.
It was good. It was really good.
Good.
Yeah. Well, still speaking about Gabby and Rachel, have you had an opportunity to talk to them since they were announced?
Yes, I did. I just kind of sending texts. I knew how busy they were. I think now they're filming now, so they're they can't no communication. Mm-hmm. But I did get a chance to kind of just text them and just say congratulations, because this is huge. And talking to Gabby, I had FaceTimed her before, and it was just. It's always genuine energy, it's just always good energy, genuine energy, and just kind of like understanding that these are the girls that I went through this whole entire experience with, and now look at them. And it's just so humbling. And I think I'm so proud of the both of them. So I did talk to them, and I got to share, that happy moment with them.
Yeah. And what about Susie? You said you were really close with her in the house. Have you been able to?
Yes, of course. That's my girl. I actually FaceTimed her and Clayton. So I got a chance to talk to the both of them. And, some people are like, that's a little weird. That's your ex. And I was like, yeah, but I'm such an energy person, and I even told Clayton, like, there's no bad blood, no ill will. Like, I don't feel like I just wasn't his person, and I'm fine with that. I'm not mad. Like, you didn't choose me, or you didn't, you eliminated me at week whatever. I don't care about that. I'm all about happiness and people finding love and people doing whatever they need to do to make them happy. And, I'm all for Claycy, I'm all for Clayton and Susie. Like, I love it. They like it. I love it. I'm happy for them if that makes them happy.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was a crazy finale. What were your overall thoughts about it? Did you have any insight as to what was going to happen before the finale?
I did have a little insight.
Nice.
And you can also kind of like piecing things together, right? Like Reality Steve had this, that, and the third, and he would say things, and then you would like read other things, and you're like, okay, based on what everyone's saying, this is what's going to happen. Like, and then watching the trailers and watching like the promo videos, you're like, okay, this all leads to him not ending up with anybody. Mm-hmm. Like, and that, I think that was very apparent.
Yeah.
Like, it was something that you really didn't need anyone to tell you, okay, this is what happened, and so I was not shocked at all when it happened. I think what shocked everybody was when Susie actually ended up being with him in the end, and everyone was like, what the crap, but as far as, I like to give people grace, and so they were really hard on Clayton. And one thing that I can say is that, unfortunately for Clayton, no one knew him. right? So he started out as the Bachelor that no one knew, no one got a chance to really love, because they ended up loving Michelle's Final Four, right? And so they felt as if like, what the heck? Why did this guy even get to become the Bachelor? Like, he wasn't even Final Four. So it started out as just a lot of negativity and hate towards Clayton from start. And it just catapulted every single week with every decision he made. It just added on to the negativity that he already started out with. And so, of course, when this happened in the end with, you know, all three women, it was like, oh, heck no, the worst Bachelor ever. I don't know. I mean, I have not watched as many seasons as some other people have, but I don't know. I'm pretty sure that this is the most hate that a lead has ever received. Yeah. You know? And so I definitely feel for him, you know, because at the end of the day, he is just a person that literally tried to find his way into finding love amongst 30 people, you know. And I mean, I've had 2 boyfriends before, but you know, that's different, and that was hard in itself, right? But like, I think 30 people and juggling that and balancing those emotions, that's hard, you know. And I can't imagine how I would have handled it.
Yeah, I felt bad for him too, because right from the start, even like I think it was the finale of Michelle's season when he like came out to be announced. Yeah, they were like trashing him at that too.
They made him read those. Yeah, I was like, what?
Right.
And they already knew how his story ended too.
No, I don't think it had started filming.
Oh
yet.
no! Oh, maybe not. So. Maybe not. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's not as bad. I thought they knew what happened to him, and now they're still trashing him.
No, but what was crazy is Juan Pablo, who was like the most hated Bachelor of all time, was like,
I remember that.
Clayton, he was like, I can finally rest now.
What the heck?
What the heck?
Oh my God. Yeah. I did see that last episode. I didn't see his season, but I did see the finale.
Yeah. Oh man, it's just all crazy. There was so much that surprised me as a viewer, but I also wasn't there for filming. So when you watched it back the first time, what was the thing that just like shocked you the most?
Shanae's ITMs. Like literally, it was just like, oh my, like, wow, like, okay, like I knew there was some drama, but this, we did not know it was like that, you know. And I think you know, we all have we have a group chat, and so we all talk, and so it's kind of like we were like, are you guys kidding? Did you guys just hear this? Like, are you serious? Like, you know. And we were just all so shocked. And so that was the biggest shocker, was just, you know, the things that she would say behind closed doors when, you know, we couldn't hear it. So.
All right. But the real question is, would you do the whole thing again? Are we going to see you on the beach?
No.
Will you go to paradise though?
If I am invited, I would go to paradise. Yes.
No more Bachelor, but yes.
No, not at all. I would not. I could not. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it again. No. I think that unless I felt like I had, like, if I knew the person and I felt like, oh, there is some connection, let's actually see if we can strengthen it by me going on there. But other than that, like, to kind of start from a blank slate and just to, no, I wouldn't. No.
Yeah. No, I don't blame you.
Yeah, but if you do wind up in Mexico, do you have your eye on any potential Bachelor Nation men?
Oh gosh, I love this question. I feel like I'm gonna seem like a stalker if I say it too much, because it's gonna be like, okay, she's crazy. All right, drum roll, please. Mike Johnson.
Of course.
Nice.
Of course. Who doesn't, honestly?
Yes. And you know, I have a very close second too. And this might actually shock a lot of people, but Peter Krause from Rachel Lindsay's season, that is one fine man. Okay, that's one fine man.
Yeah, that's one of the ones that I think people have seemingly forgotten about, but I know he's gonna reemerge. He's gonna reemerge.
He's gonna reemerge.
Yeah, he's gonna be like,
He
You're
has
gonna hear this
to.
reemerge.
yeah, Peter
He
Krause is
has
gonna listen.
to.
Book it.
Right, he's gonna listen and be like, "Whoa, someone said my name."
Well, thanks a ton for coming on our show, Marlena. It's been great. You've been really nice and really sweet. Do you have anywhere that our listeners can find you, like on social media, if they want to reach out?
Of course, you can find me at Instagram is my first and last name, Marlena Wesh, MarlenaWesh. Twitter, same exact thing. And then TikTok, I'm not really on TikTok. I think it takes a lot to do content and stuff. So you can find me there too, but I really don't post there as much.
Awesome. Well, thank you again so much for coming. We were so excited to talk to you. We really enjoyed watching you and everything. So we were so excited. You really did bring like just such a fun, loving spirit to this season. And for everyone listening, please follow her on Instagram, like she said, and follow us too at the Rosy Recap. Please subscribe to our YouTube and Spotify so you can stay up to date with all of our latest content. And that is a wrap for this episode of the Rosy Recap.
Bye.
Thank you.
Of course.